Welcome to the Emo Social Club Podcast, broadcasting to you live from emosocialclub.tv. I am Brian.
And I'm Lizzie, and we're here this evening with our new friends from Michigan, Plainview. Thanks so much for hanging out with us this evening, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Say, who are you? I feel like I just said this, but then it's like now this is where the recording is. Who are you?
With drums.
Yeah, starting with drums. Who are you? What do you do? And how do you feel?
That's me. I'm Zach. I play drums in Plainview.
I'm Aaron. I play guitar in Plainview, and I feel sad, which is why I'm in Plainview. It's like kind of
I am Steven. I am the singer for Plainview, and I feel slightly hungry.
Okay, fair.
Just a little.
Because I ate a little bit ago, but I could eat some more, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
milkshake.
Yeah, I was about to say, us talking about how thick things are, I get it. I think it probably induced something, so.
Oh yeah. It's best to start the recording out without the context of what we were talking about before we started recording.
Absolutely. It means they have to get to the stream early to know what the get is.
Why are they talking about thick things?
You had to be there.
Yeah, you had to be there. That's the title of this episode now, Thick Things with Plainview.
Thick things.
How many C's do we end up putting in it? No one will know until it goes up.
We're going to add a C to Plainview now because of this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we have to add several
Silent
C's.
C.
The three C's are silent in Plainview. Well, we have you on because you just released a new EP, Nightlife, on March 11th. Why don't you... fans of yours probably already know that you guys are heavily emo revival, which I was listening to your music, watching your videos, and I'm like, this is very... I would describe it as like Seosin and Silverstein, like as the top two bands that I heard when listening to it. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that as far as like your new EP and the songs from it and what people can hear in it when they listen to it?
Steve, you want to go?
Yeah, I was just gonna say like this. Like from where we started as a band, this was not supposed to be a band. It was supposed to be just us, like me, Aaron, and our guitarist Chris, recording a few songs in the studio for fun, for no reason. And at the time, we were doing like counterpart style stuff. But as we slowly started to like realize that it wasn't where we were feeling ourselves as musicians, we were like, so let's get back to our roots. Like, what did you guys grow up learning and listening to? And come to find out, it's all the same shit. Seosin, Silverstein, My Chem, Taking Back Sunday, The Used, and it's just like we had a literal brain blast, like Jimmy Neutron. We were like, why aren't we doing this? So it literally just all came out so naturally to the point where we were like not even worried about completely changing our genre, completely changing our image. We were like, this just feels right. And this most recent EP is kind of just a culmination of us getting there.
Yeah, really well said. I feel like it's funny because pop punk and emo and everything with like even all the way up to like, very, very large artists has kind of come back. And we all remember that it definitely was not cool when we were in high school. And I'm sure we all kind of graduated slightly different years, but it's like that whole era was like, it was definitely not like a mainstream thing. And I think it's really cool to see so many bands kind of doing the emo revival thing. We did it just because it was authentically like the kind of music we just naturally made. And then all of a sudden Tickets to My Downfall came out, and wherever you stand on the whole MGK thing, doesn't matter. Like the fact is that made a big difference, I think, for a lot of people. And then that changed kind of the landscape of music. And there's a ton of other bands that are kind of doing our sound, and some of them are like really, really badass and legit. And it's just cool to see a lot of the sort of stuff we grew up listening to. There's new bands that are like adding to that conversation of like emo music that kind of felt like kind of derailed and it was just in another genre for a few years. So it's really cool to see that coming back.
Now with this, so again, you bring up the MGK thing, and I think it's been hot goss on the internet for the entire week because of his, I believe it was a Billboard cover.
Yeah.
Saying that he sold out and he's bringing pop punk back. And there's a lot of people online saying, hey, actually, I want all of us to defend pop punk again, go back underground, and forget this ever happened. Which I feel a lot of our discussions about that, even a month ago, was very much like, no, it is annoying, but it's cool that we're getting, all these bands that we really like and we want to see be successful will then get kind of like pipelined down through this overarching like Travis Barker MGK thing. Sure. And now we just a lot of people are saying, no, I don't want it. Where do you kind of stand on that? Because I think it's such like an interesting issue. I haven't read the article yet, but I know, everybody has their own thought process on what that means for like pop punk and emo. I mean, I personally think from, a media perspective, it should really just be Travis Barker and not technically MGK, but I think he's like the figurehead is the biggest thing.
Sure.
I completely agree there. And like the way I see it is like, regardless of how you feel about MGK's music now, like, don't get me wrong, there were a few songs off of Tickets to My Downfall that I absolutely love just because they were written really well, not because it's MGK. But like an artist as accessible as him, putting out music like this, people that would normally not be exposed to this kind of music are seeing it in mass, and they're like, oh shit, like this is cool, I kind of like this. And they're discovering so many artists that we've been listening to, and they're like, holy shit, bringing attention to all these other smaller bands. And then it just trickles down from there, like it doesn't happen overnight, obviously, but I think it's a great thing because it's just a new sense of awareness.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that probably maybe missed out or were kind of just listening to other things in the kind of peak emo years, the kind of like My Chem Black Parade years where like things were just like the mall scene emo years, right? And I think there's a lot of people now that are finding this stuff for the first time, and people like MGK, like featuring Bert from the Used and stuff, like it's no different than Post Malone featuring Ozzy, and everyone's like people legitimately being like, oh, who's this Ozzy Osbourne guy? He's pretty cool. Like,
yeah,
I should check out this.
That's real for some people. Like for some 12-year-old kid who's never, like, how would they know? You know what I mean? They didn't have an older brother or sister. They weren't there. Like, how would they know about this music? And I think for a lot of people, like it or not, it was a gateway. And I think also it probably reignited a lot of attention that some of the bands that were part of that first kind of wave of bands that maybe haven't had as much staying power, they're getting a little bit of a resurgence. And I think people are finding and digging into bands that maybe weren't as big, like Cauterize and some of the other ones. So I think it's kind of interesting.
I haven't thought of that name in a while.
I know. I love Cauterize. I found them through GameCube.
Yeah, I saw them open for Evanescence.
Let's go. That's incredible. How big was the venue?
Gigantic. I think that was Congress Theater here in Chicago. It's like one of the biggest spaces, but nobody really was there early. Everybody just came for Evanescence.
Was that when they played with the Pretty Reckless, or was that another one? Because I was at the Pretty Reckless Evanescence gig at Congress.
This was first lineup Evanescence because they were on tour with the band Cold. I feel like you can't just say they're on tour with Cold. It's like they were.
Yeah, you have to get a little bit of context.
They were on tour with the band Cold, and that was before the guitarist left Cold to join Evanescence. So that's how I keep that timeline straight in my head. That and my obsessive encyclopedic knowledge of Evanescence as a career band. So there's that too. Look, you said scene kid, you said mall goth. I was very much in line with that too. And it was never cool. And I'm glad I guess it's like, why would you be upset that people think the thing you were into at one time is cool now? Like, is it like why would you want to take that away from somebody else's experience, I guess, is how I kind of look at it. Is like,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, like, I don't know. I think that a lot of people are very, I mean, gatekeeper is the word we usually use, where it's just like, no, that's for me. That's not for you. And it's like, it's not yours, A, and B, it's not the same. like no one's flipping open their T-Mobile Sidekick to message you on MySpace now. And yes, I'm still upset I never had a T-Mobile Sidekick, and I will always be upset about that.
And if the artist you like has like a bigger audience, then they have more resources to make more music and do cooler things and put on better stage productions. It's like basement shows are cool, but so are large arena shows with like full production sets, and that only happens when more people are listening to bands you like.
And that means that they can probably get paid a little bit better.
Right.
So there's also that too.
Right. 100%.
Making a bigger pie. It's
I think it really comes down to, like, I know Brian isn't on TikTok, but like there's been like that whole like gatekeeping emo trend going around, and it's a lot of people being like, I'm upset that it's popular now because I got like bullied for it when I was younger. Sure. I'm like, I can understand that, but this maybe helps a kid not get bullied now. So I think we need to think in the long term, everyone, that now they're not going to get bullied. Sorry that happened to you. Happened to all of us. Maybe it built character. I hope it did. But you know what? Now that they don't got to worry about it because it's normalized.
Sure. And that's the way it should be, you know? Like, regardless of what you're into, what kind of culture you're a part of, the way you dress, like, if it's deemed like not cool and you start to get made fun of, but then in the future, like we're talking about now, it's coming back, it's all cool. Like, why wouldn't you want that for people?
And not to drop like a dashboard lyric, but like, you should feel kind of vindicated. You know what I mean? Like people like,
I am selfish,
but the right. And I mean, I'm wrong, but I'm right.
No, I'm right.
But you know, I think it goes to show that maybe the people who might have actually liked the music, which for us, I think is kind of what, I mean, sure, like the look and just like the kind of lifestyle and everything that came with it. I think it was music first, always. Like music was the thing that brought people into that kind of like subculture. So I think maybe there were people who might not have fit into that like clique or kind of like stereotype social group, whatever, back in the day. But now that they're kind of out of that environment of like high school or early college or kind of whatever, they have let their guard down and allowed themselves to like try and hear the music. And they're like, dang, I missed out on a lot of good stuff for a lot of years because I was so worried about what other people would think. And I think we have to give those people a chance to just acknowledge that, you know what, I like this and I didn't give it a shot, and we have to allow them in, I think. I think it's just the right thing to do.
You can't be like, I'm an outsider, and then be like, no, none of you can join me. Like, what? Like,
it's like this is supposed to be such an acceptive community, and when you preach like, yes, everyone's accepted except for you, for you,
right?
Then that's where it's like, hey guys, I know it's not like, you know, you're reinventing the wheel here, but if that's what you want to preach, then you have to include like, you know, the popular kid who, you know, wore Abercrombie and Fitch and then said like, hey, you guys listening to MCR, you guys are weird. Okay. Now they're gonna be like, oh shit.
But what you're describing is the kids in my high school who listened to Fall Out Boy and Yellow Card and then saw me wearing a My Chem t-shirt and they were like, hey, you like Fall Out Boy? And I was like, no. Because I was mad about it.
I'm wearing
all right. All right. I do like Fall Out Boy now. I at the time I was just very like, I was sour on them because I had some friends in my high school who were getting signed to Fueled by Ramen, and they were friends with Pat and Pete, and I was like, nah, fuck that shit. That's stupid. I don't like them. And now I'm just like, yeah, that's good. I like it. No, it's good.
Your boot cut, light wash Hollister jeans.
Yeah. And because like my thought was, okay, all the cool kids are shopping at Hollister and Abercrombie and Aeropostale. Is that a store anymore? I don't know.
Still
I don't
is. I think they like rebranded.
I worked at
Aeropostale. Did you have to say it that way?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're like, hi, welcome to Aero. We have jeans 50% off today.
Aero.
Buy them, but don't. But we did.
But
only
don't
the
buy
cool
them.
kids call it Aero.
Oh,
I'm going over to the Arrow.
Yeah, I worked at Arrow.
But like, how are you going to work at Hollister and smell that way and then come to me and talk to me about the used? And
Such a specific smell that I haven't thought of in so
yeah, no,
long.
it is. It
you have to put on
is.
cologne. All you had to do was walk and be like, hold on, I don't smell great. I got to run into house.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Are you buying
yes.
cologne? No, I'm just going to walk through and it'll stay with me all day.
yo, are you going to, did you shower? Oh, no, I'm just going to go into Hollister. It's cool.
No, I'm going to hit Abercrombie real quick.
Yeah. Somebody's going to smell real strong in there. And look, I get it from a marketing standpoint, but it is haunting. It is stuck in there, and it's like reminding me of all the people that I didn't want in my community in high school. And now I'm like,
In my community.
just smell however you want to smell, man. I'm too old.
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
Like the branding was exactly the
Oh,
same
yeah.
for all of them. It was like different colors, but they all smelled like exactly the same. So funny.
So the consistency, there's still one open in one of the malls near me, and sometimes I still have to walk on the other side of the mall that it's on, like on the opposite like area that it's separated by,
Right.
and I can still smell it, and I'm like, it's
I
still
love
going
that they're
strong in
still doing it,
2022, huh?
Oh my
Like, how do you
god.
think they're doing that? Do you think they're just like pumping diffusers out? Like they've just
It's
got
gotta be. It's
That's
gotta
probably
be.
what it is.
It's
So
like,
at our Hollister, at our mall, we had like two like chairs out in the front. And so I remember when we were in middle school, we would all go into Hot Topic and like get the zombie blood in the bag, energy drink and whatever. And then we'd go sit outside of Hollister in the chairs and try and scare everybody that went inside.
God, that's such me and my friends' energy.
yeah, I did that shit too. I worked at Hot Topic though, so I was like, people just walking by the front of the store like, oh, it's scary in there. And it's like, yeah, don't come in. We got
Stay away.
Happy Bunny t-shirts for like 50 cents. Whatever.
I don't think it's that.
We
They're
gatekeep
bringing back Happy Bunny shirts at Hot
Don't
Topic.
just leave it.
Yeah.
I like how I'm like, everybody should like music. This music should come back. Everybody should enjoy it. And then I'm like, no, kill it with fire.
Well,
I don't want
Happy
it back.
Bunny isn't music. It's just like Cupid Psycho, and like
It's-
that's it. Okay, that's a different thing entirely. All right.
It's the same concept. It's just nostalgia, Hot Topic nostalgia. Anyway,
Our mall's dead though, so we don't even.
It's really sad. It's really sad. It was
That's
like
fair.
the place to be in. Like, I mean, there's other malls that are doing well, but that mall specifically like was the mall, and that was the mall with like the
Oh,
topic
jeez.
that everyone wanted to come to, and there would be in stores and like all that stuff. And that Hot Topic's still there, but yeah, it's like the only store in the mall. It's really weird.
a second
Even
cat just
multiply.
entered the stream.
Oh my God, there's so many cats.
Another cat just entered.
Steven's got a whole zoo. Steven, list your crazy amount of animals.
Oh man.
2 cats, 1 dog, 4 lizards, 2 turtles, 3 frogs, and 7 fish tanks.
Hell yeah.
How do you fit that?
Oh, I have
The
like
fish tanks are pretty
industrial
big, I know that.
shelving.
He's got like a setup.
Yeah.
Everything's on timers and things. It's like you walk through the
Hell
whole
yeah.
wall, and it's like instead of having like a wall of books, it's just like here are my geckos, and there's like all on different like timers and things. It's pretty badass.
Now, would you ever consider it 100 gex? Like 100 of the
Just for the meme of it, 100%.
Fuck it, let's do it.
Let's go. Fuck it, we ball.
Well,
Nothing makes
Geckos.
nothing makes a band in 2022 like a meme.
100%.
true.
We should talk more about your music and not just the mall
yeah.
and pets, but
Yeah,
you guys are playing. Okay, now I'm going to get into a whole conversation about these festivals and their names
sure.
and
Oh,
the
no.
energy behind it, because
Isn't
there's
it,
a lot
this
of like,
one's- I think this one is sponsored by Rockstar Energy.
okay, good.
I just want to
Ink-
tie the energies together.
Inkcarceration
yeah.
in Mansfield, Ohio. This will be your first festival appearance. And why do you think they called it that? And what would you have to have a prison tattoo to go?
No,
Oh,
so
no.
here's the reason. It's actually really sick. So one, they do like tattooing while you're at the festival. You can, sign up to do that, but it's at an abandoned prison. So
What?
Okay.
Excuse me?
It's in like the prison yard, basically. And it's
Gotcha.
The
actually
old Ohio State Reformatory.
where they filmed Shawshank Redemption.
What?
So like you can be like, oh, I'm going to go see Korn, and then I'm going to go on a tour of the prison where they filmed Shawshank, and then I'm going to go like throw tomatoes at Plainview, and then I'm going to go to the haunted house.
When I say they know their market, they know their market.
Yeah, that's very
yeah.
niche marketing. That's on brand then.
Yep.
It's cool.
It's awesome.
I mean, how did you? I'm sure it's like, yes, we want to play it, of course. Like, there's a lot of good bands on it, but also, are you like, this is some Octane Radio nonsense?
This is some hell yeah, brother.
Hell
Yeah,
bro.
big hell yeah, butt
There are
rock
definitely
express.
some bands where I'm like, that's when I'm gonna probably go get a tattoo or go on the tour of the prison.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But Evanescence, I'm definitely gonna be watching them.
There you
Yes.
go. Is it Theory of the Dead Man on that?
Oh, settle
Yeah.
down, Lizzie.
Papa Roach
Yeah,
is
they are.
playing.
Yeah, I
second
think you-
concert I ever went to was Seether, Breaking Benjamin, and 3 Days Grace, and they're
Bruh.
You
and
just
I'm
described
like-
Lizzie's personality.
No, there's more to me.
I mean that was
I
a
just
big
really
one for
like
people.
Seether. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about gateways. I think that was a big one for a lot of people, right? I mean, like that.
I mean,
era,
I feel like the breakdown video from Seether really just hit me at the prime age of 14 in a different way.
100%.
Yeah, and it's
close.
crazy. Like I remember watching those videos on YouTube, and now my name is on, or not my name, but the band's name is on the same fucking flyer.
It's
Like, what the
definitely
shit?
weird. And I mean, of course, we know that we are a little bit of a different audience and come from like maybe like a different sub scene or like whatever you want to call it. But I think ultimately we were stoked because we liked a lot of those bands growing up. We still do like 3 Days Grace and Breaking Benjamin and, just bands like that. So I think it's just like, it's kind of like a cool moment for us to be like, it's come full circle. Like the bands that got us into all this, we're like now playing with.
Yeah.
Sick. Bands out of
Yeah.
prison. So like, there's like some sort of lesson in there or something.
And you guys actually get one of the dates that Spirit Box is on.
Yeah. We're really excited.
I cannot wait. I was supposed to see them when they came to Detroit on the.
Oh, you
Voyeurs
were
tour with
too?
Under Oath.
Yeah.
We
But
couldn't
then
either.
then they got COVID, and Every Time I Die broke up, and I was like, fuck, like I'm tired. I just got home from work. I don't think I'm gonna go.
Oof. You go at all?
I
No,
didn't, but Aaron did.
I went with our bassist Andrew, and we got upgraded to VIP for free.
Nice.
And we were just like, okay, this
They're
is.
like, yo, dude, you fucked up.
Yep.
We're sitting there in VIP watching Under Oath, and I'm just like in peak, like reliving my like youthful emo days, catharsis. And then our manager texts us and is like, hey, your single's up to like number 20 on Billboard. And we're like, I could die like right at this moment.
Yeah.
I'm having a good night.
Yeah. I was like, you know what? I will have another. I will have two.
I will have two actually, sir, right now.
I will have two milkshakes.
Dude, thicken me up. I'm having
Yeah,
a
that
good
was
Oh
night.
my god.
That was a good day, no doubt.
So how does it feel to really be charting on the Billboard charts? Because I feel for a lot of you like newer bands, it's such a rarity that occurs.
I want to initially say like it doesn't feel real, because like when you get told that, and then you see the chart, and it's like, oh, holy shit, okay, and then it just started getting higher and higher and higher, and we're like, how is this happening? Like, how do we react to this? Obviously, say thank you to everybody requesting our song on the radio, but also like, how does this happen?
It's that
It's just,
Octane
it was just like
Radio.
a snowball
Octane
effect,
Radio.
man.
Yeah, it's one of those
Sirius XM.
really weird feelings where you're just like,
Octane sponsor.
I think something's broken somewhere and no one's found out that like, we are on this thing. And then I'm like, and then people are like messaging us on Instagram and they're like, yo, I found you through, whatever local radio station that's playing us. And we're like, oh, this is like really happening.
This is
Okay,
real life.
Yeah,
this is real life.
this is real life.
It's really cool. So it's definitely like a surreal feeling, and we recognize like how absolutely rare that is for just any kind of like young band, let alone a band that kind of has a sound that hasn't been done for a long time. It's just weird, but it's pretty sick.
Yeah, I can imagine. There are no charts for podcasts, so you know.
No, there are, Brian. We're just not on
What?
them because we are not a celebrity
We gotta
or
change
we
that.
don't have a lot of money. That's why we're not on.
That.
You gotta
Yeah.
write a letter to somebody.
We're actually
I
gonna
wrote a
do
letter.
it.
I wrote a letter to my radio company, and they put us on these streaming apps, so we got that at least.
Oh hell
I
yeah!
want to speak to Billboard's manager.
Yeah,
Hey,
we're actually doing a
Billboard,
quick
knock,
set
knock.
at Inkcarceration.
Yeah, we're there. It's like when Riot Fest had Henry Rollins talking
Yeah.
on a podcast for no reason. We'll just be there doing the same thing.
Yeah,
Hey,
Perfect.
it works.
come catch this exact conversation on stage at
How many
Inkcarceration.
Wearing a Riot
C's
Fest
do you
t-shirt.
want to see in Incarceration next year?
Yeah, I'm
It's
having
not
a hard
even
time
live
saying it.
conversation. You're literally just gonna play this exact live stream up on like a big
Yeah.
projector in front of like 20,000 people.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna have Theory of a Dead Man on and ask them about their catatonic use.
I just don't want to talk to
everyone's
Theory
got
of the Dead
comments
Man.
about that because I think it's great.
Do you guys do you follow Catatonic Youth's the greatest Instagram profile of all time?
No, I will right now.
No.
Is it rude to
No.
get on my phone and do it right this very
I'm
second?
gonna let
no,
you do it.
You need to.
Okay.
You
While
need
I
to
explain
right
it to
now.
our audience and to y'all. It is the tagline is musicians are cowards.
I see it. Musicians are
And they literally just find like some of the worst music
Cringiest.
performances. Like it could be like a YouTube video, it could be a live performance, it could be all kinds of stuff. And they like kind of just cut out like certain parts without context and then they just show it. And there's one of a Theory of a Dead Man song and it's like, yo, why did you say this? It's like I hate all of the hobos who just sit around and get paid and I have to go to work. And it's like, yeah, that's not what that is.
What? Oh,
And you
That's
just said
from
that in the
song,
song.
I Hate My Life, that single that they did.
It's like, what are you? I'm like, first of all, you
It
have a
was
soul
literally-
patch. It has nothing to do with other people.
I mean, in that song, they literally say, I hate that I never get I never get the girls because they hate nice guys like me. So like we already know.
But
the
there's another
energy.
one where he says, I hate that I can't tell when a girl is underage because I say she's a nice piece of ass and her dad punches me in the face. An actual line in an actual song by an actual person.
Everyone's
Yeah,
Yikes.
it's mind blowing. It is
That's
mind blowing that went out. First of all,
That's like-
you say that to anybody is wrong. Second
that
of all,
song
Right.
was on the radio.
Like,
That
dad
song was
there.
on the radio.
stop.
like Ted Nugent, Kid Rock level of ignorance.
Yeah,
think of
Yeah.
how many people like touched that before it was released to the public. Though.
there were
like,
so many people
And
who
said,
felt
this is fine. Yeah.
Oh,
Who
I
listened
do
to
hate that.
Was like, this is okay.
Yeah.
Let's put this
and
out.
potentially another songwriter that helped. There
Mm-hmm.
was the people tracking it. There was the producer. There was management. There
label.
was distribution. There was the label, and all of them went, "This is terrible."
Their
As
PR
people
must have had
Push it
like a
out.
nightmare behind the scenes.
Push
with
it
that. I
out.
can only
God, I
imagine.
can't.
Now, when they
man.
play Incarceration, you have to go and watch that live and report.
They're not
do
playing that.
do a
They
live tweet
cannot.
about it.
So they actually took it down from Catatonic Youth's page, but then they said you got to take this down because so many people were like, "What the
had a
fuck
cease and
actually
desist,
is
probably.
this?" Yeah,
Oh my
and then they were like, "Nah, fuck that," and they kept reposting it, and finally they just left it up on their page. But
Oh my god. That's
yeah,
awesome.
it's like no, you this is fucked up. You know that you fucked
Yeah.
up.
It's
and
so
now
sad.
it's out there.
It's out there forever,
Back to that
forever.
That's crazy.
Why? You know that it's you've surrounded yourself with yes men. If they hear You know what? I do hate it when I hit on an underage girl at a show. I do hate that.
No, it's either yes men or it's men who do the same thing, and they're like, yeah, that's fine, and it's like, no.
Been there. I'm in the pop punk scene. That's a joke. That is a joke. That is a joke.
Right.
That's a TikTok trend going on right now. That's a TikTok trend going on right now.
And it is inappropriate. And just treat women better than you would treat yourself.
The TikTok trend going on for it right now, and it's just like, oh my God, they're unconscious. Like, ask them a question to like keep them awake. And one of them was like, oh, what's the age of consent to a pop punk man? And they said, questions he knows. And I'm like, oh my God.
Oh God. Oh,
That's
there's
terrible.
no mercy. There's no mercy.
No mercy.
Absolutely none.
You
Zero.
want me to go on TikTok?
Yeah, I need you to be up to date on these relevant memes.
No, thank
You
you.
need the people that like can count above 18 to like get on TikTok and like participate. You know what I mean? You need to start outweighing the number of people that are just like being inappropriate and terrible people.
Like,
So sad.
I've had my girlfriend explain to me so many bits from TikTok, and I'm like, and why is this funny? Like, what is the joke? What's the meme? What? Like, it's just
Where
a thing.
is the punchline?
Yeah, like it's just things are happening, and I'm like,
You would
okay?
absolutely hate the Calico Critters stories that are on there too. I think they're chaotic. They're hilarious. It's literally these little like creatures, and they do these like insane head ass energy like stories. It's like, oh my God, my husband cheated on me. It's like then the husband goes to the doctor's like, you have terminal cancer, dies. But it's like these little critter
Jesus.
characters.
Sounds super dark.
But they play like Katy Perry's Teenage Dream in the background to like help the story along.
Oh yeah.
The For You page sounds
Every
like
director's plot device. Steven,
That's
who's our
technically
favorite?
the Emo Social Club TikTok's page, so it's both Brian and I's TikTok page.
Let's go.
Yes.
There you go. So you are on TikTok without even being on
That's
TikTok.
true.
Who's the woman, the angry woman we love so much?
Drew?
Oh, Lily Hayes.
Lily Hayes. Love her. I want her on a feature. She would open up a fucking pit with the rest of them.
Oh my God, she's hilarious. The one where she's naming Star Wars characters.
And oh my gosh, and she's just hysterical. I think it's her son, documents her just being angry, and her English isn't perfect, and like everything about like her interactions with her son is like Steven's interaction with his grandma.
Exactly.
This like wonderful, delightful French woman, and he just does things to make her mad in these videos.
Oh
and then
my God.
it's like getting angry, and just like the way she does it is so funny, and we love her. So check out Lily Hayes.
One of my favorite one of her quotes is, "You don't have brains in your brains."
Brains in your brains. Oh my god.
Okay,
so awesome.
that
Yoda with
sounds
yogurt.
good. Like
That's
that sounds like
funny.
a
Yeah,
good
that's cool.
TikTok content.
Yes.
Oh, it's great.
We'll see Brian get on there and then put your content on there so it mixes with everything.
No,
TikTok is
no,
what you want it to be. You know what I mean? Like the things that you want to see, they're there.
it is a For You page, not a.
It is by
Every time, like all these. Look, I'm gonna sound real old for a minute. All you young kids and your
Oh my
your
God.
ticks and your talks, and you're out here, and I'm like, I gotta get on it. And then I leave these calls, I leave these interviews, and I go, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm 100.
You may tonight. You might.
do Lily Hayes at least, and then you'll find some joy.
All right.
Even if it's just one video, you'll say, you know what?
I'll follow it for you, Brian, and say this is it. Go
For
to
us. This
it. For
is
us.
our TikTok.
Wow, I love the we us language.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was trying to turn TikTok into a we sentence, and it's like that doesn't work.
How many C's in we?
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
7 C's,
just-
they're all silent.
Seven
gonna open up a
silent
box.
C's.
That's gonna be dangerous.
So
Too
how
many
many
Cs.
C's do you guys have in emotastic, which I think is really, really, really stood out to me. in
Add in some
Encounters.
C's.
How many C's? How many do you think? Aaron, you choose the amount of C's for this one.
Was it Aaron's
11D.
idea?
It's got to be 11D.
11D? Okay.
11D.
Yeah,
Fair.
Real number.
100%.
I accept it.
Not made up right this moment.
Where, sorry, I almost made a joke about that, and I said, where do you get off calling yourself
Where are
emotastic?
you?
Where are you? And are you sorry? Because it's like, yeah, I want somebody to be called emotastic now in 2022 year of our Lord. Because I think it's just appropriate and correct. But I'm also like, how do you come up with that as like a thing that you're like, I'm gonna say it, I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be us.
It's gonna catch on. It's like fetch. It's gonna catch on.
Dude.
Irony of that movie, it did catch
totally
on.
did.
Yeah.
So, just saying.
And did Gretchen Wieners ever really get any? We don't know.
She never got anything from
Gretchen
that.
Wieners. We don't know.
And never Gretchen Wieners. Goodbye.
Or we'll never know. Okay.
You go, Glen Coco. Sorry, I fucking love that movie.
I like your way.
I don't trust people who don't love that movie.
Yeah.
So good.
So,
Stop.
when you're at Inkcarceration, are you going to say that you are emotastic from the stage?
Absolutely not.
I think we have to.
No.
There's mixed
No, no, no,
responses
no.
happening.
All the
Uh-oh.
flashbacks of like being shoved in lockers is like immediately
Uh-oh.
flashing back. I'm like, we can't
They're
do it.
going to
We
shove
can
you
do it.
into the
We're
jail
gonna
cells
do it.
and lock you in there.
Yeah.
I'm yelling
There's
into
so
the
much.
snare mic.
They're so much bigger than us and like have muscles and things. I can't do it.
Yeah, no. I really don't want a bunch of Korn fans listening to me
I
say that we're
so
emotastic.
to see, but
Just
Gonna
be
get
like,
beat up after our set.
did you get into Korn when they put out a dubstep record? And then they'll be like, hey, brother, don't you dare.
Hey, brother.
I've been into Korn.
brother.
I'm a freak on a leash. You know me?
Oh, no.
I'm
Oh,
ready.
no.
off the top rope.
You're
brother.
saying something that you hundo P's gonna be there, and I don't know what context, but a freak on a leash will manifest, whether any of us like it or not.
9 season freak.
It's like points for vocab words.
Dude,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, here's I'm going to go back to MGK and sorry.
How many C's are in MGK?
Should be more. He's unthick.
No.
He's very unthick. Tickets to My Downfall,
Steve.
1C. So, thicker than MGK.
Tickets to my downfall.
Thickets.
Think it's
Fuck. That's
oh my
Oh,
god,
that's the episode
that's
title.
That's the
it.
episode name right
That's the episode
That's
title.
it. That's it.
Fuck.
My dumb.
Listen, we got the clickbait, we got the hate of MGK, we got thick. Oh my god.
Fuck. I almost forgot my question.
there. I feel like I just transcended time and space. Thank
There's
you for
this-
that.
There's this thought process that Lizzie and I have talked about like all this hate to MGK, and it's like, it's because you keep hating that he's still here, man. Like, it's
Totally
it's
true.
because he's undeniably like unavoidable that you are hating
Yeah.
on him, and it's its own cycle of bullshit. Also, I do like a lot of the music, so I'm not complaining. I'm just like, yeah,
Only Tickets to My Downfall.
I really
We
like
don't
Tickets to My Downfall, and so far-
nothing else exists prior. I want to make that clear.
look. We always forget Daywalker and Corpse because shout out to Corpse for being
Corpse boy.
invisible and not having to deal with MGK hate individually. And his new record sounds like it's going to be just fine. I'm digging the songs that have been released so far, so I'm interested. I'm curious. I'm not going to say, oh, I would go see that album played in full. Probably will, but it is a thing.
You mean
So-
we're gonna go to Lala, bestie?
I'm going to Lala. Yeah. But it's like, can there be, I think the thing in my head is that no bands like The Used or My Chem or any of these big bands from that scene were like, I'm going to be hated to be popular. Like, there was a Broken Side. There was like bands like that, but there was never a band that's like, yeah, I'm hated and I do what I do. And like, whatever, I'm just making music and people are really identifying and enjoying it. So who gives a shit?
I feel like they were hated before. Like they were hated like when they were starting. You know what I mean? Like they were hated. It was like just things like to us now that we wouldn't even think of because like Youngblood exists and like he wears eyeliner and crazy like exciting outfits and things. It's just like back in the day, like people were like, "Oh, skinny jeans. Are those your girlfriend's jeans? Really?"
Well, I mean, now you get ripped on
cool.
for
Like,
wearing skinny jeans. Anyway.
And then you're like, yeah, because I have a girlfriend, dude. And then they're like, fuck.
You got me, brother.
You got me, brother.
It's just like, it's one of those things. Like, how many times did like my chem in the early touring days probably get shit for like wearing eyeliner, like something so stupid, but they did.
It's like now I feel like there is room for everything. And the only people who are still hating are the people who aren't coming up in this music scene now. But I also feel like it's probably a good time for a lot of bands who would normally be hated to just like search for that and just like target it and go hate on me because it kind of works. I hate to say Ronnie Radke's working for him, but it is.
I mean,
and I fucking hate him, and I'm like, it works.
All press is good press at the end of the day.
Yeah,
because it gets you in everybody's ears.
Believe it or not,
it's about being seen.
With a C. How many C's in the word "seen"?
Christ.
Believe it or not, there are still people who unironically listen to trad. It could always get worse.
Uh-oh.
You have a very good point there.
That's one of those red flag TikToks. Like, what's your main red flag? Someone who listens to trad.
Yes,
that's it.
Exactly.
Get
Big
away
time.
from me.
I'm headstrong, brother.
I watched Never Back Down 7 times before I came to this party.
God.
You want to go?
You want to go?
Dude, I promise I'm getting in a fight tonight. You can't even kick me out this party.
Trapped X Stained, because Stained is the most recent butt rock band to be terrible.
When you say the words out loud, you're like, what the fuck is happening? Like, trapped and stained. We need a
Sounds
good
like an aisle of
detergent.
like cleaning products.
Yeah.
On tour with Brillo.
God. Don't even. There's a band out there that's got something like that.
Yeah. Brillo's
sleeve.
opening for Trapped and Stained on there.
Brillo right now that's like, hey, how dare you use our name?
I'll clean up Stained. Don't even worry about it.
Like we give them like shit, but like there's a lot of the bands on Inkcarceration Fest like we are super excited to see, and we're super excited to be a part of it. And I mean, obviously, like for a band that is younger like us to be invited to a festival like that, like all jokes aside, it is really sick and really humbling to just like be extended an invite to, regardless of whether you're like into those bands or that scene or not, to be playing with bands that size is nuts.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Totally.
Look, I would absolutely go. I can make fun of it because I know I'm like, this is the shit that I'm super into, and I'd be there. Like, I've seen all the festivals like Rob Zombie headlining, and I'm like, dude, fuck, I want to be at that Rob Zombie show.
If there's like one person I could have dinner with just to be like, I just want to live inside your head for like an hour, it would be Rob Zombie.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It is a horror show, but it would be interesting.
It would be terrifying. I would come out with like gray hair, but I would love every second of it.
You just lived 100 lives by talking to him for 30 minutes.
And also
100%.
watch the 100 lives get extinguished.
Right.
Or 1,000. He did a house for 1,000 corpses. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, my numbers were off. Math was never my strong murder point.
What?
Do we have other questions? Sorry,
Wow.
guys. We are loose on this Thursday, and I am having a good time.
On this young Thursday. That thick milkshake skin to your
Yeah,
head.
dude.
Right?
There's nothing in it except for strawberries, so I don't know what I'm having a problem with.
Spinach. Is the Popeye effect just going to your head instead of your muscles?
I'm not going to do my Popeye impression. Just ask a question.
I'm not answering a question until you do your Popeye impression.
Okay, keep going. Let's roll through.
Oh Lord.
So you guys, your EP was produced by Micah Boys of Fall, somewhat friend of the podcast. We almost got them on. We have to get him on again. But how did you guys go about choosing to work with him to produce this EP?
Well, so our bassist Andrew and I, we've been friends since we were 16. We both met by working at McDonald's. We have been in and out of bands since then, and obviously being from this area, we've known about Boys of Fall. We've gotten to know Mike over the years, and want to say I've been recording with Mike, with Andrew, and different projects for like 7 years now. Some stuff that's never seen the light of day, some stuff that we've just done in our past bands, and working with him just feels so like natural and right that it kind of would feel weird to work with anybody else right now, especially since we were still like trying to find where we wanted to head. But I don't think, Aaron, you hadn't worked with Mike before, right?
No, I hadn't. And I think that's one of the things that like really made me feel comfortable working with Mike, was knowing that he's got, you know, the ear of a producer, but because he understands like the artistic process and being, you know, on like the artist side of things, like he knows what it's like to try and kind of like maintain a song's integrity, because sometimes the thing that might be like catchier or might be like a little bit more commercial might not always be the best thing for the band, because it doesn't fit with like the image or, you know, just like your brand or your sound, whatever. So he's really like respectful of that, which I think is cool, because he knows what we're going for. And yeah, I've really enjoyed working with Mike 100%. And he's a homie, and we saw Spider-Man together, and we saw Batman together, and bonds were formed when you see, you know, Battinson out there fucking shit up.
It was so good.
It was so good.
Batman was so good.
I have to find time to go see it.
Yeah, Lizzie as a Robbie Pats stan has missed out.
100%. You've seen The Lighthouse?
No, but I've seen all the Twilight.
Okay, so I've seen all the Twilight movies as well. You've got to watch The Lighthouse.
Okay.
The Lighthouse is incredible.
It's
Brian, I'm coming over. We're watching The Lighthouse. The only time I watch stuff.
It was like unsettling.
Okay, that's what I've heard. Because I mean, one is in black and white. It has lighthouses, and I heard it has like sirens and shit. So like, I'm into like, you know, that type of stuff.
Really sweet.
So like, let's go.
Black and white, lighthouse, sirens. Sign Lizzie up. She's in.
Listen, film noir, love it.
Yeah.
with a little sprinkling, not even a sprinkling. It's like a dollop of Willem Dafoe.
A dollop.
Dollop me on.
Let's
Give
go.
me that.
Brian.
He's more like Willem Dafoe, you know what I'm saying? Not Willem Dafoe.
Oh no.
That's not my meme. It's somebody else's meme.
No.
I'm just making the joke here.
You said it. You said it with your whole chest though. So
I'm confidently stealing a meme. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm happy to do it.
People do it every day.
Yeah.
You know what? It's the internet. They all are stealing, and you just got to pretend that
It's fair use.
it's fair
fine.
use. Yes.
You've got to
Fine.
pre-package it, like for your audience. Just repackage
Yeah.
it and
Mm-hmm. It's like
if
TikTok.
if there are jobs
Yep.
that are entirely to be meme makers for certain companies, it's fair game. It's fair game.
yeah.
Good point.
Disgusting. We can keep talking for a few more minutes. I just wanted to make sure we gave you a chance to toss out some plugs where everybody can find everything on the internet, where people can listen to the EP, and how many streams would you like them to have our audience listen to it by, let's say, a week from the time they're hearing this?
Ooh, okay. Well, our music's available on all streaming platforms: Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal. What's that other one? Deezer.
Deezer.
Instagram's our
What
main
else?
place to like hang out and talk with us and stuff. That's like, if you want to like communicate with the band, we all kind of co-run the Instagram together. So there's not like a marketing person or someone from like the management team running it. It's actually us. So if you're like seeing someone comment or like message, it's like one of us. And that's Plainview at Plainview Official. We are on the TikCC, and I think that's Plainview Official as well. Stream-wise, what do you think, guys? Well, tell us this: how many people in stream? Like, what's like an average stream number for you guys?
We just say 1 million every time.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't check, so I'm assuming we make it every single time.
Well,
So
Fair assumption.
Yeah.
do you think we can do 1,000 in a week?
yeah, totally. From this
Listen,
squad.
you're on the Billboard chart. I think you can hit it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I was
do we want
adding a zero to that.
Listen,
Yeah.
we can
This group specifically 1,000. No
we can
problem.
guarantee 1 million
Well-
if we make this a TikTok trending sound. Now I don't know how we're gonna do it. We have to maybe make a dance or something. I don't
I
know.
was
Post
just
your
gonna say.
trauma, and then you're fine, and kids will like
It's
it.
about drama. What the fuck is going on TikTok? I fucking hate it.
exactly?
Oh my god.
We're gonna have a
Yeah.
whole YouTube episode of just Brian figuring out TikTok and his viscerally angry reactions to it.
It literally is going to be just abject fury. Just complete fury. By the way, you are vertical now.
Yeah.
You have landscape portrait.
He said,
You
I
are
am
looking
making a
crossover.
TikTok right now.
You're giving me a Jimmy Timmy Power Hour cross.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Jimmy Power
Yes.
I don't know how you accomplished
boy.
that, but I'm mad impressed.
Now here's the thing with that.
Yeah, I think-
Were you more of a Fairly Odd Parents or Jimmy Neutron person?
I watched both, definitely. I think if I really like dig deep, I think I was probably more of a Jimmy Neutron person. And I heard recently, I didn't know any of this, but apparently there was either like some sort of like YouTube video or documentary. There's something documenting the fact that like the making of Jimmy Neutron was like an absolute dumpster fire every week. And I'd never heard anything about this,
Mhm.
but
I saw that the other day too, and I'm like, I would watch this. I would watch a
I don't know
documentary.
anything about-
on
I
it.
just heard that. I don't even remember where I heard it from, but it was on the internet, so it's got to be real.
It's one of those like
Mhm.
dark behind the scenes details about like
Yeah.
Nickelodeon shows that are like going around now on the internet.
VH1 like reviewing the band, and it's like, and then the drugs came in.
Jimmy Neutron unplugged, and then they're
Yeah.
like,
Oh, God.
"How are we gonna draw Goddard in like 2 hours? What do you mean it has to be a robot? It's on brand. Shut up. Let's draw."
We have to we have to draw an entire brain blast? Fucking silly.
Right.
Silly.
His hair doesn't make any sense.
So funny. But yeah, I was definitely more of a Jimmy Neutron. What about you?
Me, I was more Jimmy Neutron. My dad also really loved Jimmy Neutron too, so we watched it a lot. I saw the Jimmy Neutron movie in theaters multiple times because my dad also really just liked it.
Oh my
so.
gosh, I forgot there was even a movie.
The movie smacks hard. The
Yes, and
Jonas
the
Brothers
people-
had the kids.
The
Oh my
aliens
God.
steal their parents or whatever.
Yeah, and it's like, oh my God, there's no parents. We just party. And then they're like, I have a tummy ache. I had too much candy. I need an adult. I'm like, yeah, you're 8.
And they pick out all the amusement park rides to just like, they're like, "Oh, this Ferris wheel, I'm 8. I'm gonna make this go to space."
The fact that they said, let's go to
just like tinkering shit away.
The fact they said, let's go to amusement park and have my fellow 8-year-olds run and operate heavy machinery.
And they had
and no
Boldy
one
out there, too.
died.
This was not like the future NASA leaders. This was like they had Boldy slap,
Yeah.
slapping his way to frickin' wherever. It's so funny.
Zach, were you a Jimmy Neutron or a Fairly Odd Parents type kid?
I was a Fairly Odd Parents kid.
Okay. Now, what was the vibe for that?
I don't know. I just liked it better.
Green Moose guava juice, bro.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
The Fairly Odd
Large
Parents.
shake, obtuse chocolate shake. With
If
3
Steven were here, he would tell you that he was very much, because Steven's a little bit younger. Steven would tell you that he was very much like a chowder
Okay.
kid, like chowder and like
Yeah.
I
the
was
other
Phineas and Ferb.
Flapjack.
Flapjack was so fucking funny.
Flapjack was
Such a good show.
bizarre.
Yeah.
Those,
fact that that
those
wasn't on
shows
Netflix
were
baffles
too
me.
out there for me. Like
Adventure
when they came
Time
out.
was another one too that was like very. I was just like, how are they saying this? Right
Yeah.
now?
Exactly.
It was so fucking funny. I was like,
They're on a streaming platform. I forget which one, but you can find them.
yeah, I have to go
Really?
back. It's also
All the
like,
Flapjack episodes.
there's just so much like, it's just so different than when I was a kid watching like Rugrats and
Yes.
Our Real Monsters and shit like that. And then end up like I'm just gonna watch like all these like super ADD cartoons that are just screaming the entire time.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized I was getting old, and I'm like, I can't do this because these bright colors are screaming at me.
I'm with you, Brad. I'm like, they're moving, but the background and the patterns on their clothes aren't. What's up with that? I don't like that. I want to watch all that.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Just animate it.
And I don't want to go scream at clouds because I'm 12.
Yeah.
Because I'm 12, I'm over it.
And I have to go outside. My parents say get out of the house.
Kitty stuff. See?
I will mention that Steven's phone died. He just wrote in the chat. Also, the fact that his username is Darth Thickboy. Did
Only
you
two
just
C's. Only two C's.
like?
Only two.
Did you just make that username based on the entire
it's
conversation?
Darth Thick Booty.
Darth Thick Booty.
Booty with an I.
And it has been that as long as I've known him. That or Indianapolis Jones.
Can we talk about how he has
his full
I'm looking at Darth Thick Booty, their user profile picture, and it's an evil Shrek head on top of, I think, Terry Crews's body.
Oh,
Yes.
oh boy.
Somebody give this
I don't know
man a
anything
sub
about
right now.
that or what any of that even means. That's too trendy for my blood, but sounds right.
Like,
Terry Crews.
I can look at that picture and it is a visual representation of what it sounds like when you are describing TikTok to me.
Right.
Yeah, that's.
I know exactly
Did you know
what you
there's a Shrek
Somebody
month?
gifted him a sub.
Yeah. Thanks, Alice. Oh, Lord. Yeah, it is a
forgot
visual
about my
chaos. It's the chaos of like millennial memes, like the humor of just like random nonsense just repeated at you. Like just, I don't know what that was, but I found it hilarious. And it's like that being described to me is TikTok, but it's not as funny because it's being described to me. And
That's why
also
you need to get
TikTok
on
is
it so you
describing
know.
it. It's just the worst. I don't want it.
Definitely absolute chaos.
Just listen, Brian. We know that you've never logged into a Zoom meeting with anybody, and your username has been Darth Thick Booty Boy or Booty.
No,
in
it has been
general, okay?
Spooky Pants.
Of course, it fucking
And I was
has.
like, and let me just change that to Brian real quick. I don't need this business meeting thinking that I'm
Spooky
Pants.
Pants.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Look, we all have our scene kid names for our usernames.
Oh gosh, I don't even want to remember mine. Did
No,
anyone have any
you do.
like embarrassing passwords that you have retired that you can now share?
Pass.
Yeah. Can everybody share their passwords on the
Yeah.
podcast?
Just
Somebody just dropped their
like
social
old
security
MySpace
number in the
password or
comments.
something.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
a sick social drop right now.
If anybody drops
SSN.
anything in the comments, I will delete it. even if it's like one number, I'm deleting it.
MySpace.
I'm not taking no fucking chances.
Zero.
Alice, I'm not deleting yours though.
Oh my god.
Yeah, passwords, no, but I have been appreciating Elden Ring playthroughs now because the health potion in that is like a vial of Crimson Tears, and I was like, oh,
God.
Crimson Tears was definitely my username back in the day.
Oh,
Really?
He's back.
Hundo P on that one.
wow.
Yeah,
Welcome.
Steven's back.
Steven,
Oh,
what was
shit.
your MySpace name?
Fuck, hold on.
No.
Well, mine is and has been and will always be because it's like baked in because it's my name. My name's Aaron Rush, and so mine's like it's too easy to just not be Aaron Don't Rush for everything.
There.
It always has been. It probably always will be. It's easy, low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
I had some
Consistent.
embarrassing passwords. There was definitely, and I can share these because I don't use them for anything. Like no one
Everyone
wants to have
go
my
try to
AOL.
log in and see.
Yeah, you're gonna go to my AOL Instant Messenger and like turn off my AFK whatever. But it was I had passwords that were pretty cringe. One was SKSKMCR and then my birth year
Oh no.
for
Oh,
Scary
no.
Kids Scaring Kids
Yeah.
My Chem.
Oh,
Yeah.
Of course, I had
Yeah.
one that was Fall Out Boy, but the L's were ones because you had to have a number. So I was FA11 OUTBOY.
Mhm.
Is this working now?
It is.
Yeah.
It was working before. You just couldn't hear us. You can't hear us. You're a dope.
Can you hear us?
Oh my
you're
God.
dope.
you all sound like your voices are pitched down really far, and it's terrifying. Oh my god! I got to refresh the page. This is terrible.
Is this the most chaotic interview you guys have ever done?
No.
I think Modern Day Escape was
Modern Day Escape was a pretty wild interview.
That was absolute chaos.
Is it available on YouTube? I didn't look specifically for that.
Yeah, it's older. It's like what, 2 years older? I think.
That was like
about 2
mid 2020. Yeah.
Sick. So like peak of like everyone being like, I haven't seen another human being for like 6 months.
It was like what, 2 hours?
Demons, what's happening?
Can you record it and just play it back? Because we can hear you. I want to hear what it sounds like.
I gotta. What the fuck?
Oh, Steven. This is your conscience.
Come on down, Inkcarceration.
Now everybody say your vampire freak's name right now so he can hear it in the most demonized voice.
We are going to go ahead and wrap up the recording part of this. We're going to still hang out on Twitch for a little bit, so hopefully Steven can get back in for that. So
and not hear us all as demons.
Yeah. Well, I hope that continues, but we're just going to do it over on Twitch. But yeah, go and listen to Nightlife by Plainview. 1,000 streams. This is the easiest assignment we've given any of our listeners in a long time.
Usually it's a
Breeze
million.
through it. Breeze through
God.
it. Oh, good.
Oh, good. No more demons?
Oh,
Go listen to Beesview.
That was so horrifying.
Yeah, so we're going to go hang out over on Twitch, but Plainview, go listen to them. Thank you guys for being on the pod.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.